inevitable in human nature.
But she wouldn't even promise now.
Just like I would tell you, if you're going to do something, do it well. And leave something witchy. Leave a sign to let the world know that you were there.
Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Okay. Recording. Should I close the window? I just realized I should close my window.
I think a car just passed.
Yeah, you can hear all of it. Yeah.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You probably think that you are better now. Alrighty. Okay.
Okie dokie. Ready?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm mentally preparing myself. Okay, welcome to...
Oh, hello,
yes.
yeah. Hello.
Hello, welcome to Undercover Coven. Woo!
Woohoo!
Episode something.
Episode.
4?
I'm Ale.
I'm Paula.
I think it's 4.
You're Ale. I'm Paula. Okay. Yes. This is what happens when you watch Brandy TV with edibles.
I know. If nobody, if you people don't know who Brandy TV is, you have to look her up on YouTube because she's hilarious and she's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, they just showed her to me and I was like, just hilarious. It was so funny.
Yes. So basically she just eats edibles on camera and she waits 3 hours and then she does like makeup challenges or like whatever. She does whatever. And she's hilarious, so yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with shout-outs.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What is with that face? Yes. First of all, the Woods podcast.
Because
they've been like
podcast.
I know. They've been like the best on Instagram with us. And yeah, you guys rock. And I listened to a couple of episodes and they're great. So
that's cool.
Shout out to you guys, yeah.
And I wanted to shout out We're Not Sure Yet to Liz and Cheyenne because they've been shouting us out like in every episode and I appreciate it so much. You guys, you're the best.
I know. They're the best. Yay! Okay, so...
The Balloon Boy episode was so cool.
Oh my god. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. I can't believe they were on Wife Swap. That's so cool.
That's the thing. There were things that I didn't know, like that. I had no idea.
Yeah. It's so cool.
And also, for some reason, I didn't know that. Well, she almost... The lady, the wife almost got kicked out of the country because of what they did.
Yeah.
She's so dumb. But anyways. And also, the Woods podcast, I can never say that word. Sandy, one half of the hosts from the Woods podcast, it was her birthday yesterday, so...
Happy birthday, Sandy! Woo!
Woohoo!
That's cool. And the other person I wanted to shout out is For Real Cereal. It's an Instagram, and dark humor, with serial killers, and they make gifts and cards and stuff for true crime fans. So they have a card that I laughed so much. That it's Charles Manson with 2 of the girls, of the Manson girls, and they're all bloody with like soda or something in their hands, and it says Christmas is about spending quality time with the family, and I just thought it was hilarious, and I'm like a huge fan now.
I know. I saw a couple of. I like the Jeffrey Dahmer one. I thought that was really cute. And wait, let me see if I can.
The one that said that's when the cannibalism started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a card or was it a mug? Because did they have
It's a mug.
mugs?
Yeah, it's a mug.
Yeah.
And I like the one with John Wayne Gacy dressed as the clown, but he's wearing a Santa suit, as Pogo. And it says John gave his usual outfit a festive touch.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
It's so cute. Yes.
Yeah, so shout out to For Real Cereal Yes. For Real Cereal on Instagram. Yay. So, anything else to say before we get started?
No, I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that we both have huge bottles of water that we both picked up at the same time to drink.
Oh, yeah. We were like, okay, let's get started. And I grabbed my huge bottle of water, and then Ale has hers. And we were like, oh, cheers, woo!
Cheers!
And we drank.
So stay hydrated, people.
Yes. It's very hot here, so we have to stay hydrated.
Exactly. Well, it's cold here, but whatever.
Whatever. You have to stay hydrated all the time.
Just do it.
Yes.
Shia LaBeouf. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so today's episode is gonna be kind of information packed.
Yes, it's a big one, but it's very interesting, and it's something that happened fairly recently. It's this year. It's about NXIVM.
Mm-hmm.
NXIVM, the cult. Or is it a cult?
It's a prostitution ring. Did I say that in a whisper?
In a whisper. Okay, so basically my sources are the New York Times and 2020.
Nice.
I watched a lot. I did a lot of research for this. Okay, so NXIVM is spelled, if you want to look it up, NXIVM.
Oh, that's why I thought. Okay, no, okay, okay.
Why? What?
Because for some reason I thought it was spelled differently. I mean, it was pronounced differently.
Oh.
It's whatever I said at the beginning. Now I know, it's in my head that it's NXIVM.
Oh,
but
you said NXIVM.
NXIVM, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's NXIVM.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't honestly know where they got the letters from, but it looks like a Roman numeral. It's NXIVM. So the leader of this thing,
you know what? Well, let's get into it and then we'll categorize it, because they say it's a cult. Yeah. I think it's a prostitution ring, but we'll get into it later. Okay.
Okay. So the leader of this organization, his name is Keith Raniere, and he's a former salesman and self-proclaimed genius. But also, he has a 240 IQ, and the normal is 90 to 110, like in an average person. He has a 240 IQ. He started reading very young, he started speaking in full sentences at age 1.
The fuck?
And he was playing concert-level piano by 7 years old. By reputation, he was, quote, one of the smartest men on earth. One of the smartest men on earth. He was also a judo champion. He did a lot of shit.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a salesman at first. He formed Consumers Byline, where you could buy in bulk. You could buy products in bulk. That was in the early 90s, and it all turned out to be a pyramid scheme.
And we'll go back to a pyramid scheme.
And it's back to the pyramid scheme. Okay, so once you're in the organization, they called him Vanguard. Vanguard,
why?
Because it was he was a part of a revolution, so he was a vanguard artist.
Okay, but it was a pyramid scheme.
No, but but NXIVM, when people got into NXIVM.
Okay, so I thought it was in the early 90s when that, okay. Sorry, keep going.
Okay, so they would call him Vanguard.
Okay.
NXIVM was started in 1998, and I don't know why I'm so nervous. Okay, NXIVM was started in 1998.
Paula, they're not coming for you. Or maybe they will.
I hope not. Okay, NXIVM was started in 1998. And it started as classes for self-improvement. Basically, they would go to therapy for 14 hours a day up to 16 days. And the classes were invitation only, so it was very exclusive. Let's get into the money. 5 days of intensive training, 5 days, 14 hours a day, was $3,000. 16 days...
Can I say something? This is giving me Scientology vibes, off the bat.
Wait.
Yeah.
Give it a second.
Okay.
16-day training was $7,500. And, according to them, 16,000 people worldwide have taken these classes. Apparently.
Who has all this money to fucking spare like this?
I really don't know.
What?
The classes would start with a clap. Like, everybody at first would clap in unison. Then they would huddle, and they would recite a mission statement that the group had. Whoever didn't want to do the classes would be punished verbally, and they would make you feel dumb. They would, belittle you. They would say, you're dumb for not doing this, your children don't love you, you wasted the money for nothing because you're, worthless, you're gonna end up broke, stuff like that. They would bully other people. Yeah.
So it was bullying classes 101.
Oh, yeah. In these classes, they were taught a lot about, self-improvement. They had a lot of things with, religion. Mm-hmm. And they also taught this thing called jeunesse. Jeunesse. J-N-E-S-S. And what that basically means is that men are designed by genetics to not be monogamous, basically to spread their seed, to have sex with as many women as possible, and women had to be monogamous. Yeah.
Oh my god. I hate them already.
Yeah. They would have confidentiality agreements in order to get into the classes. And they would use lingo. So they used the word disintegration, potent, suppressive for a person who wanted to leave the group, parasites for those who didn't understand them and would criticize them, and Luciferians. It's very weird.
For those who were... What did that one mean?
It was for people outside the cult. For outside the organization. Let's not talk about a cult yet.
Yeah.
So, that is totally copied from Scientology. So copied from Scientology.
Yeah, that's what I'm... It's like somebody... This is what I feel. I know it's probably not, but it's... This guy probably, he was so smart and he was so competitive. Because, to have won and have done that many things by the age of whatever, he was so young. You have to have grown up, that's your essence. You are competitive. You want to push yourself to do other things. So, when did this start?
1998.
When did Scientology, do you know when Scientology started?
Oh, that was in the 70s or 60s.
So
it's
he
copied.
Probably
it's
saw,
totally copied.
Yeah, he probably saw, this is the way I see it, he was like, oh, I 100% I can do the same. I am probably smarter than whoever started this.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah. It was and then he started his own thing. Yeah. That's how I feel it kind of started. And people like that usually have a need to be leaders. And it's scary because, you can use it for good or bad. And so...
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. It's weird.
So let's get into a little bit about the money. How did this whole thing get funded? Mm-hmm. There was a woman, her name is Claire Bronfman, and she was one of the first people to fall into the organization, and she took classes in 2002 at the age of 25. She's a daughter of the late Canadian billionaire Edgar Bronfman Sr. and a British barmaid turned socialite 20 years his junior.
Okay.
So Keith Raniere, the leader, he had an inner circle of people who he could be very close to, who had to work to get there, right? So in order to get there, you had to take more classes, you had to spend time with him, and one of the ways was having sex with him. She was one of these people in the inner circle.
Jim Jones. Sorry. I'm just gonna start throwing shit out there because, come on.
Yeah. So she was in his inner circle, and they tried to get her dad, the late Canadian billionaire, to get into the classes, and they took him to a $10,000 VIP course. But he said, he didn't like it, and he said, quote, it looks like a cult. So Claire took from her inheritance $2 million and lent it to Keith Raniere for his organization.
Lent it.
And he became the dad of Claire.
Yeah.
He became estranged from his daughter.
Wow.
Okay, so we're gonna come back into her in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of celebrities have gone into NXIVM. One of them is Allison Mack, that you may know as you may know as one of the stars on Smallville. She was one of the friends of I am such a bad comic book person right now. What's his name? Superman.
Wasn't she Lois Lane?
No. Ken Clark's
Lois Lane? Okay, then
no.
I'm even worse. I remember her in the series.
Yeah, she was one of Ken Clark's. I said Kent Clark. It's Clark Kent. It's Clark Kent, not Clark.
It's Clark Kent. or Kent Clark, whatever.
Okay. She was one of Superman's friends.
Yeah.
And her and other people from Smallville have gone into NXIVM, but she's the one who stayed. Here's where things get very creepy. Are you wondering how she got into it?
How do you find out? I know that Hollywood is a very dark and deep place. Like mysterious place. Not a mysterious place. It's just a very dark... It can be a very dark place, like, depends who you hang out with, but, because, you know, I've been there. But I mean, like, I just wonder how these people get into certain things, like in cults and stuff like that. Or, like, how do you get to a place like that where, like, a bunch of people from Smallville, like, were you at a party and somebody approached you, like, hey, you want to buy some drugs?
Basically, what happens is that Keith Raniere would make, like, videos promoting and stuff like that. It looked like an infomercial.
Of course.
And Allison Mack apparently saw it, and she was interested, and then she went to talk to him, and she had, like, a revelation. So she became part of his inner circle.
Yeah.
And then they started a sorority inside the group called The Vow. It was called The Vow or DOS. I'm not sure what it means. It's a Latin word. It's a Latin thing. Okay, so they started this thing called The Vow. Mm-hmm. Here's where things get very bad. Women from the group, like, not inside the sorority, but in the NXIVM group, who wanted to be in the sorority were kidnapped at night. They were brought to a place that they didn't know where it was. They were blindfolded, naked, and if they agreed, they were branded. And what I mean when I say branded is, like, they took hot iron, you know, like on a
bull
fire.
Brand?
Yeah, like a cow brand. And went and they branded the girls right on their pelvis. Like on their hip, like very, very low on their pelvis. Yeah. Apparently branding...
What the fuck?
Apparently branding the woman was Allison Mack's idea.
Fucking psychopath. What is wrong with her?
The price of admission to get in the sorority, you had to present something, just as in Scientology. You know how in Scientology you have to go to these, what do they call it, like the sessions where you have to, like, confess your deepest, darkest secrets, and they would record and everything? Yeah. Okay, so the girls here had to do something similar, and the price of admission was basically nude photos of yourself, confessions, and anything that could be used against you. For example, Allison Mack, according to FBI documents cited, Allison Mack turned over paperwork promising that in the event that she left NXIVM, he would be entitled to her home and any future children she had. She also gave him a letter claiming that she'd abused her nephews, which he could turn over to authorities if she defected.
What?
That doesn't even have to be true. She just did that because you have to use...
whatever can fuck you up even if it's a lie.
Yeah.
Just like they have, like, it's some sort of fucked up blackmail.
Yeah, it's blackmail.
What?
The New York Times reported that the branding of the girls, the symbol, it symbolized 4 elements or the 7 chakras or a horizontal bar with the Greek letters alpha and mu. But if you look at it, because it's, like, vertical, if you look at it sideways, it says KR, as in Keith Raniere. And if you look at it vertically, it says AM, as in Allison Mack.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very creepy, actually. It's kind of... I don't know, I think it's scary.
It is very scary. Because stuff like this is why I'm telling you that I'm saying that Hollywood is a scary place. Because just a normal girl, and actually, is she American or is she Canadian? Because I remember seeing a movie with her a long time ago, and it was a Canadian movie, but it could have been.
I think she's American.
That's a Magnum. I wanna know now. She's an American German actress. Of course, she has to be German. I mean, no shade, but come on. Anyways, just a normal girl like that. She's just whatever. She's an actress. She's in I guess Smallville was pretty big in its time, but right now it's like nobody really remembers it. Yeah. But I feel like just a normal girl, and then like goes down a downward spiral, and then gets basically stuck in all of this.
Okay,
How?
so
like it's YouTube, just it could be anybody that you know. That's what I mean.
On YouTube, if you search for NXIVM or Keith Raniere, you get these tapes, these videos that they're called like the Keith Raniere tapes or something like that. And basically, it's Allison Mack on a table, you know, like sitting across from Keith Raniere, and they're talking like about life, right? And Keith Raniere is saying things that are very basic. Like, it's very new age, but it's very basic, you know? You have to look inside yourself, you have to love yourself first, blah, blah, blah. And I swear,
but you would see an Instagram quote of the day type thing. Like, it's just,
And then Allison Mack just looks at him, like, with these adoring eyes, and she starts bawling her eyes out. And and she's, like, so brainwashed. And that was when she was already in NXIVM. And I think she tried to do that. I mean, she had the idea to do those videos, like to humanize him a little bit. Like to say, you know, NXIVM is not that bad or stuff like that.
He's loving, blah, 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 and whatever. But no.
Yeah, it just looks like she looks brainwashed. She really does.
Wow.
Yeah, and she says, like, she got into NXIVM, like, she discovered Keith Raniere and everything because after Smallville, she felt very alone. Like, she thought she was never going to have the success that she had during Smallville, which is partially true. That's why she got into NXIVM.
See, that's what I was saying, that it's, like, back in the day it was pretty big, but then, like, right now it's, like, kind of, it's in the back of everyone's minds, and most of the people that was in Smallville, like, it's not doing anything now. Yeah. So, that's what I mean, like, how just a normal girl actress, which she would have, if she wouldn't have gotten so invested in this, probably she would have a career if she really wanted to. Yeah. Right?
Okay, so back to Keith Raniere. Okay, so...
Sorry, interruptions.
Yeah. But they had this, remember they called Keith Raniere Vanguard? They had V-Week, Vanguard Week, and it was a week to celebrate Keith Raniere's birthday. And apparently people would come all over the world, and they would have, like, these massive parties, and they would just celebrate him.
It's Scientology. It's literally Scientology.
Yeah. Keith said that he needed to share his energy in air quotes.
He's big dick energy. I'm kidding.
Well, you're not wrong.
He probably had a small bit.
You're not wrong. Yeah, he was probably overcompensating for something.
For sure. 100%.
So
maybe his balls never dropped. I don't know. Okay.
That's weird. So Keith needed to share his energy. When we say energy, we mean sex, if you haven't, like, already, like, figured it out.
So, literally, he's big dick energy.
Yeah.
Just energy, because his dick was small. Okay, sorry.
Small dick energy.
Is small dick energy.
He would have a relationship with a woman, and he would have sex with her, and then bye-bye woman. And he would, if you were in a relationship with him, and let's say you were shy around him, but he really wanted you, and then he was trying to get you to have sex or whatever, and you didn't want to, he would just rape you.
Okay, this is not Scientology.
No.
What the fuck?
The other way that, because a lot of people ask, like, why are so many women still in this group? And it was because a lot of them, Keith would charm them, and he would make them invest in his ideas, like in a company or in a product or whatever, and then leave you without any money and basically financially dependent on him. He would, like, you know, tangle you until you couldn't get out.
What the okay, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very bad. Going back to the sorority called the Vow, basically in this sorority is when the women were forced into sexual slavery towards Keith.
This is the part that I've heard it.
Yeah, towards Keith and other people. And they would sell you, not really sell you, but they would just like give you to this guy to have sex with. And
they'll pawn you over, basically.
Yeah. And it was like very, very bad.
That's the part that how I found out about this. It was because of that, because I saw some things, like some articles regarding this, because it was a big thing there was a light kind of that shined onto it recently. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was because so many celebrities, like, there was, apart from Allison Mack, there was a few other people from Smallville who got out. But the weird thing is that there was other celebrities, like bigger celebrities that were celebrities like a long time ago. Like, we're talking, like, they must be like 70 years old now, and their children have gone into NXIVM.
Oh my god.
And I think that's because you're in an exclusive club, right? It's like Scientology. Okay, so there was this girl. She was an aspiring actress, and she got into NXIVM. And afterwards, everybody made her feel so good. And it's like, no, you have talent. You're gonna be like the next Angelina Jolie. You're gonna win an Oscar and stuff like that. And she felt so good that she just wanted to stay there. And it happens a lot, but it's mostly Hollywood.
Wow.
It's mostly Hollywood.
Yeah.
There was a case of a woman her name was Kristen Snyder, who was in NXIVM, and then afterwards she realized that she had been brainwashed and raped and everything, and she committed suicide.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how bad it gets.
It's like she realized it when it was too late, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Wow.
It's very sad. Like, there's so many people in here that, I don't know. There's also accusations of sex trafficking and forced labor, forced, sexual...
Which, let's be honest, that was already confirmed.
Yeah. In March of this year, Keith Raniere was living with Allison Mack and other women in Mexico when the FBI showed up to arrest him, and the women angrily chased the agent's car away when they took him away. Like, the FBI guys took Keith Raniere, sped off, and the girls just went after the car.
Oh my god.
That was in March, and he was accused of sex trafficking conspiracy, and conspiracy to commit forced labor. In April, Allison Mack was accused because people were saying that she helped recruit women for the sex cult, in quotes. She pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking conspiracy, and conspiracy to commit forced labor. Basically the same charges as Keith Raniere. She's currently free on a $5 million bond and living with her parents in California.
Oh my gosh.
Their court hearing is in May of next year, and we have to see what happens. But it doesn't look very good. The website is now down. There's no talk of, like, NXIVM coming back so far.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it doesn't. I feel like... You know what's the saddest part? Is that so many of these women probably didn't realize that they were on a fucking sex cult. Or they were on I think it's a prostitution ring, because, come on, let's be honest.
It's just that a prostitution ring, that's why I don't agree with it. A prostitution ring is that if they were selling women to other men for money... against their will.
I guess.
In this case, it's more like a sex cult.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they're brainwashed. It's not like they don't want to be there. They do want to be there, but it's because somebody basically charmed them into thinking that that's what they should be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But this guy, he's like... I have a lot to say about Keith Raniere. Man, first of all, this guy is like the biggest nerd in the world. And I say that with love.
I don't know what he looks like.
And I say that with love because I'm a bit of a nerd, but this guy is like he realized he was, like, people say he looked like a dwarf, like he was ugly, and he didn't know how to get girls, and so this was the only way that he would get girls to have sex with him. Right? And
True.
he's an idiot. Like, this guy is unbelievably...
Oh my god, he looks... Have you ever seen, have you ever watched the show, Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah.
Do you know the three, like, the little kids? The three friends? There's one that has been in literally every single Seth Rogen movie. The guy with the glasses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He literally looks like him. And he does, like, the stupidest characters ever.
Yeah.
Like, they're always, like, nerds, like, losers. He looks like him. That's so funny.
This guy really, like, he's a genius and everything, but he didn't have much creativity when coming up with, like, the lingo and stuff. It's copied off Scientology completely.
Oh, for sure.
And, like...
That's why you were talking, and I was like, this is... I feel like I've heard about this in fucking Scientology documentaries.
Yeah, basically. Man, this guy, like, he didn't use his 240 IQ for anything. He just used it to scam others. And I don't know how, but he charmed other women. Like this girl, Claire, the heiress, Claire Bronfman. She committed a broad range of serious crimes from identity theft and obstruction of justice to sex trafficking, all to promote and protect Raniere and NXIVM. Like this chick had conspired with Raniere to steal credit card passwords. She just committed a whole bunch of crimes just in order to please Raniere and to be well, like, in the inner circle and stuff like that.
What the fuck?
This is crazy because it's something that's happening, like, right now.
Exactly.
And it wasn't very well known. Like, everybody knows about Scientology.
Well, yeah, everybody knows about Scientology, which is probably most likely why the whole cult kind of went under the radar, because if Scientology right now, so many people is coming out. Well, for years people have come out with their own testimonies about being in Scientology. Well, their religion is not really a religion, but whatever. Being part of that, and so it probably just went under the radar because people either thought that it was Scientology or people just didn't care enough because it was basically copied off of it. Like you said, he was super smart, but come on, a little bit of creativity. Fucking, I give props to the guy who started Scientology, because how the fuck does he come up with all this shit?
Oh, I could tell you about that.
We need to talk about it because
I know a lot about Scientology. For some reason, I know a lot about Scientology. And,
of course you do.
L. Ron Hubbard was a creative genius. Just, he wanted to...
He was an actual creative genius.
Yeah, he was just an asshole, but his ideas weren't very good, but at least he had the creativity to, like, make a whole new way of getting money, a whole new way of believing and stuff, you know? Even though it's ridiculous. But this guy, he copied, like, everything out of L. Ron Hubbard's handbook.
Exactly. This guy was really, really smart. But he wasn't a creative genius at all. I mean, the term vanguard or whatever goes over my head because I don't think
he was
any type of creative artist or anything like that.
No.
And so probably, most likely, that's one of the reasons why it went under the radar until until he got arrested and, like, taken by the FBI and all that shit. Because that's when I found out about it.
Yeah. His biggest mistake, like, I think, being from, you know, it comes from a person that knows a lot about cults, is that he didn't, like, you know, in a cult, you have to take away individuality. That's why they had the classes with everybody clapping and then the mission statement and everything.
Yeah.
But you also have to find a way to tie everybody down. To make everybody stay with you. And apparently, like, the nude pictures and the confidentiality agreements and everything, I think that wasn't enough. Like, I think there should have been more. Because so many people have gone into NXIVM and so many people have gotten out. That's how the word got out that, you know, something was happening. Like, he got the basics right. Yeah. But he didn't follow through.
He just didn't know how to execute it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. He got the basics right.
No, it's true.
But he didn't...
Well, he got the basics of a fucking Scientology, so...
Yeah, true.
He didn't even get that by himself.
True. And the other thing is, this place, it didn't have like a type Jonestown, end of the world kind of situation, which is another way you can tie people down, is saying, you know,
exactly,
like Heaven's Gate, they said, you know, the mothership is going to come and the aliens are going to take us and that's going to happen on this day. And those who don't go are going to go like to hell or something or some shit like that. This guy didn't have anything else to say. He just got into, he formed the group. He had sex with all the women he wanted because he was a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And like, he didn't know what else to do. He got the money he needed. He
was like, I have everything I want. I want it. Yeah.
But he didn't like realize that this could totally go south and he could get in trouble, you know? Yeah. He didn't find a way. He just got too comfortable. Yeah. He didn't go like to some remote location type Charles Manson, you know, that
he went to fucking Mexico, probably in a resort.
Yeah.
Like, all-inclusive, let's be honest.
Yeah,
come on.
You know, like Charles Manson went to the desert to be with the family, and Jonestown went to Central America. This guy was, like, in Hollywood. He was in California. He was, like, in the middle of everything. Yeah. Like, what do you expect to happen?
Right? For example, Scientology, it's also in the middle of Hollywood, but think about it. Kids go to school for that, like,
they're raised in that environment.
They're raised in that environment. Yeah. So all the older people is already brainwashed, and then the kids, like, they get shaped up and brainwashed.
Yeah, and the other thing is that people in Scientology, when they are starting to defect and people around them are starting to realize that they want to leave Scientology, they're sent to camps. I'm not going to call them concentration camps because that's not what they are.
Rehabilitation camps.
Yeah, but it's forced labor. So it's like a punishment. Yeah. This guy only punished you for not like wanting to go to class, right? The other thing is that there's a video of a lot of women facing Raniere and being like, you know, you've taught us this, but you don't follow it. You're a hypocrite. And then he spins the whole thing. But like in Scientology, that shit wouldn't be able to. You can't question it.
Yeah,
you can't question it. But this guy took it all. And then all those women left. So this guy, like I said, he got the basics of a cult right, but he couldn't follow through.
And you know what? I honestly think is like you said, it's because he got the woman and the money, and then he got way too excited, and he's like, well, I got everything now. This is all I need. I don't need to follow up with this.
Totally.
And he got too comfortable, and then everything just got fucked up because he was stupid. See, smart people can be fucking dumb. And he was.
Yeah. Like, instead of using your fucking intelligence for some good in the world, you're using it to traumatize women and people and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the whole branding thing. Like, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. The whole Allison Mack thing.
Oh my god.
Like, how the fuck do you go and be like, oh, let's brand women? Like, what the fuck is that? You know, these women have been, like, the women who have left NXIVM have left and have left branded, and they have to relive the trauma every time they look at their fucking bodies. Like, what is that?
What is that? What goes on through the head? Like, what was going on? What is still going on, probably, in her head, that she was that brainwashed that she was like, yeah, let's brand a woman like a fucking cow, because that's what it is. They're like, that's. You brand an animal, and even on animals you shouldn't be doing that. But there's places that still do it. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. But it's just why, like, how you are also a young woman who has probably had to live with all of the comments the pigs in Hollywood have made about you because you're an actress, you're trying to make it as an actress, and you just go out and I don't know, and because this fucking loser tells you that you have to believe in yourself for 2 seconds, and then I don't know, it just makes me so mad.
It's just that it makes her a hypocrite.
Exactly.
But it's like, what runs through your head that you have to brand women? Like, who the fuck thinks that's a good idea? And you know, I remember when I read about NXIVM and I read about the branding, and I'm like, why do these women let themselves? You know, I was kind of victim blaming.
It's not. It makes me mad that they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think that's
they were forced into it.
Yeah,
they were forced into it, and there's a phenomenon, when there's a large group of people, and everybody agrees on something, and even though somebody doesn't agree, they'll say yes anyway.
Yeah,
and that happened a lot in NXIVM as well. So maybe a lot of women said yes, and then people didn't want to be left out or looked at weird or punished or whatever. It's like saying
there'll be 5 people. Let's say that there's five girls there, and they're telling me to do something. 2 of them will agree because they just want to do it, or they're too far gone, and the other 3 maybe they don't want to do it, and because the other 2 are like, yeah, okay, and they go, oh yeah, I guess okay, but because the other ones are saying yes, they just go, yeah, okay, and then the other one goes, yeah, okay. And then the third one goes, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so the 5 of them do it. It's like that whole... Have you seen that video, that social experiment?
Yeah.
Where there's people waiting in a sitting area, and one of them starts getting up every time the bell goes off or something, like the ding goes off.
Yeah, and everybody starts getting up.
And everybody starts doing the same, and they're like, why are you doing that? And they're like, oh, I don't know, because everybody else was doing it. Literally, that's every single answer.
Yeah. It happens. I wanted to read the what it says as a mission in the NXIVM website. NXIVM closed, by the way. You can't get in, like, the website. It has like the enrollment has been canceled, stuff like that.
Good.
Yeah. It says NXIVM is a company whose mission is to raise human awareness, foster an ethical humanitarian civilization, and celebrate what it means to be human. That's the most generic sounding mission statement I've ever heard.
You can literally take any company's mission statement.
That sounds like a charity. It sounds like Scientology. It sounds like religion. It sounds like everything. Mm-hmm. That's how generic it is.
Wow.
Now, the allegations against Allison Mack, she pleaded not guilty, but man, I don't know. All these things that I said, that Allison Mack, it was her idea to make the vow, it was her idea to brand women. This is all accusations. It hasn't been proven to be true. Yeah. But honestly, the way things were, I think it is true. Like, I just think so.
Yeah, I do think so too. It doesn't, like, it wouldn't be, it doesn't, with some things like that, like certain cases, I go, oh, but what if this happened? And I'd be like, yeah, no, but maybe not. But it could have. This is literally, all I'm hearing is, it did happen. Yeah. They're just saying no to not get in trouble.
Yeah.
So they don't get in trouble, and that's it. But that it did happen. Like, in my mind, it's just, there's no way that it wouldn't have. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand. The other thing is that, is it a cult? Is it a sex cult? Can you call it a cult?
It's a little bit lame.
It's a lame cult?
It's a lame cult. It's like, it's not, to me, it was more on the side of a sex cult rather than just a regular everyday cult, because we have those just flowing out of our ears.
Yeah. You can't compare it to other cults. You can't compare it to Jonestown. You can't compare it to Heaven's Gate. You can't.
No. Like, I don't think it was organized correctly. It wasn't organized enough for it to be harmful if it was just a cult, but it was harmful if it was a sex cult, and that's what it was, like, all about. If that was, like, the main thing, with all these women getting branded and, like, just, like, kind of pawned into members of NXIVM or whatever. I think it's just some shitty form of sex trafficking that they try to call it an organization, which could be, yes, categorized as a cult. It has cult-like characteristics. I don't think for it to be a cult. I think that's where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. I'm looking at a page here that says how cults work, cult indoctrination, right? How they brainwash. And it says, cults mislead new recruitments or members as to the true expectations and activities of the group. So I think that's a check, right? Mm-hmm. Because people got in here saying that they were going to be like reformed spiritually or blah, blah, blah. And then they were trafficked into sex. Right. Cults may hide any signs of illegal, immoral, or hyper-controlling practices until the recruit has fully immersed himself in the group. Basically check. A cult leader may use members' altered consciousness induced by activities like meditation, chanting, or drug use to increase vulnerability to suggestion.
I don't think
Not really.
so. Not really. Because he would use very, very, like you were saying, like very generalized words.
They had classes and stuff, but it wasn't like a meditation.
Yeah.
It wasn't chanting. Not really.
No, I don't think so.
Then the next one is isolation. So cults may keep new recruits from talking to other new recruits. They may only be allowed to speak with long committed members for a period of time. See, that's when the execution goes wrong.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying, it wasn't organized correctly. And because I honestly don't think there was will there. I have a feeling, just a hunch, that there was probably no will there to do it, not official, but it's like he got the woman, he got the money, he's like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah. See, the other one is cults may not allow unsupervised contact with the outside world. In this way, there is no chance for a reality check or validation of a new member's concerns regarding the group. Another thing I said earlier, they just went to their houses after class. They went on to the real world, so there was no way of keeping them close.
It was like going to, going to any yoga class and then going home.
Yeah. And then the other part is induced dependency, where the leader schedules what you have to do every single day, which is not the case.
No, it's just economically dependable on him.
Yeah. Members are told what to eat, what to wear. That's not true. The only place they had to do that was in events. They would wear sashes with colors, and each color was like a rank, which is dumb. So not creative. When members have creativity, special talents, they would be advised to not use them in order to not stand out. Things like that. So this guy, in conclusion, he got the basics right. Very poor execution. Very poor execution. Very little creativity. If you want to start a cult, please don't. If you want to start a cult, be a little creative, be like L. Ron Hubbard, who said that people in Scientology, when they got to other levels, like the highest levels, like where Tom Cruise is, they would realize that aliens, and they would have telepathy and shit like that. Do something like that. It's more entertaining.
Also, if you want to start a cult, please don't. We will reinforce that throughout the end of this thing.
Yes, please don't.
If you're gonna start one, it has to be because you want people to believe what you believe in. And I think that's the main thing. That's why there was no will, because there was no strong belief there, right? And so, yes, it has to be something that you truly believe in. And if not, at least make people believe in something.
Yeah.
Hard.
This guy, the only, strength he had, or superpower, with air quotes, is that he was smart. That was it.
Yeah.
And it was based on an IQ, test. But let's say
he was just a loser.
Yeah. But let's say you have a person like Jim Jones. People called him father. People went to his church for healings. This guy was next to God for them. You cannot compare.
No.
This is poor execution. It's dumb. At the end of the day, it was just some nerd.
A kid with. Yeah, exactly.
It was a nerd who wanted to have sex, so he got a bunch of women together, told them to believe shit, and then had sex with them. And it wasn't really consensual, it was rape. He raped so many women. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's NXIVM.
Nice.
The sex cult.
Well, not nice, but the sex cult.
Apparent sex cult.
Oh, jeez.
We have to find out
half of.
We have to find out next year what happens. It's in March.
Yes, so stay tuned for that. I will look it up for sure. Now I'm gonna be looking it up every day and see if new stuff comes up. But in March, you said the trial is coming up in March?
Yeah, May, not March, May.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll give you guys updates.
Ooh, that would be cool. It would be NXIVM revisited. NXIVM the trial.
Yes. Something like that.
Well, that's cool.
I was watching Friends with Murder. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's a YouTube series. Not a YouTube original series, but it's
a series on YouTube.
It's from Pop Trigger. It's a series on YouTube from Pop Trigger or something like that. And so basically it's just Grace something. I don't know her last name.
With an H? Grace
Havrich, something like that. Yeah. Her, and then she has a guest, and they talk about, like, I guess that is actually her friend, and they talk about, serial killers. And it's really good. And so, for the season finale,
Finale.
I need to breathe. So season 2, the end. They did a whole thing on Ted Bundy.
Cool.
There was so much shit that I didn't know, and I don't know, I just remembered. And I also watched some John Benet Ramsey shit, because that's like my everyday crack. I have to have it. There were so many things that I did not know.
Like what?
Like the whole fact. So I thought that remember that sorority house that he killed all those girls?
Yeah.
So you remember that? Yeah, we were born at that time.
Oh, I was part of that sorority.
Oh my god. I didn't kill him because I hid under the bed.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So he I thought he just did it randomly, and then that's when he got caught. No, this bitch, he had been arrested because, so he got stopped for speeding or doing something with his car, and then his car got searched, and they found like basically a murder kit or like a kidnapping kit in his car.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh no, we need to bring him in for questioning, because the car looked like the car that they had, that one of the girls that was able to escape him.
Mm-hmm.
The car description that she had given. And so that's when they arrested him, and they were like, oh, this is the guy who's been, like, who did this to this girl, and I guess they attached it to all of the other people that had shown up, all the other women that had shown up dead, and blah, blah, blah. So he was at the courthouse to, like, not stand trial, but, like, I guess, he escaped the courthouse, went to Aspen, and that's how he got to that sorority house.
Yeah, because he, in that trial, I think, that was it, he represented himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that, like, what the fuck? I had no idea about that.
Yeah, there's so many things that...
So, yeah,
people
because
know
I didn't
about,
know
like you say, oh, Ted Bundy, he was a serial murderer, but you don't know, like the techniques or the fact that the car had the seat missing next door. That's where he would, like, put the body and shit like that.
Right.
It's interesting. That's why we're fans of true crime.
Fucking, yeah. It's just... see, that's being creative. I mean, don't go out and kill people. Please don't do that.
Yes, we're saying right now, we are not responsible for any of your dumb ideas. Like, seriously. Do not start a cult. We're saying psychologically the ways you could start a cult, but do not start a cult. Do not be like Ted Bundy. Do not take the seat out of your car, please. Do not kill people.
Don't.
Please.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you, next. Thank you, next, bitch! Okay. Sorry. Chris
That's the best part of the video. Okay, now we're just going into a whole nother topic.
Yeah, so let's close this.
Yes.
Remember to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Undercover Coven. Again, I messed
Undercover Coven.
Yes, Undercover Coven.
We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and you can email us, actually.
Yes, on undercovercoven@gmail.com. Again, shout out to the Woods podcast, and We're Not Sure Yet podcast, is sister podcast. Woo!
Oh, also they got into oh my god, Spotify.
Oh,
recently.
They did? That's so cool.
I think just this week, yeah.
Yeah.
So congrats to that.
Yeah, congrats you guys. That's awesome. Yeah. That's an awesome achievement. The girls from We're Not Sure Yet, Liz and Cheyenne, they got new Patreons, so that's awesome.
Nice.
I can't wait to be part of the tinfoil hat club one day. I love it. Yes. I want a tinfoil hat. They killed me with that picture of that house with the tinfoil. I tweeted that. Oh, I thought it was them. I tweeted that to them and they retweeted me. I'm sorry. Having a shared Twitter, like any type of social media, share with somebody else, I get confused every day because I don't know if you're commenting or somebody's commenting on our pictures. Yes. Well, anyway. Yes, it was a picture of a house with, like, tinfoil, but all around the roof. And I'm like, next level conspiracy theorist. That killed me. Yeah, that's me. That's me in the future. Yeah. Okay, so we'll see you next week with a new episode. I will be graduating soon. So next episode, I may sound a little bit nervous, but that's because my my thing is on Tuesday, and the episode will be released on Monday. So, oh my god,
She's graduating.
oh my god, finally.
They grow up so fast.
Yes. I don't want to. I'm 2 months away. I'm a month away from 26.
Are you nervous? Like, do you feel like you're gonna give birth at any point?
Give birth?
Yeah.
No.
Does it feel like you're about to, like, release a baby into the world?
No.
Because you're finally graduating?
No, I
don't
feel
know.
like I'm gonna mess up my life. I'm like, I
That's
don't know
how I
what
felt.
to do. I don't know what to do. That's me.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that would be you if you were pregnant and about to give birth.
Oh my god.
So,
Okay,
you know something.
so bye. Have a great week, everybody.
Okay,
we
bye.
love you. Bye.
And bye. Happy Monday. Bye.
Bye.